Well, Kishen, thank you so much for helping my project.
It's a pleasure.
Could you say a little bit about yourself?
Yes, sure. I'm a computer scientist. Yeah, I have a PhD from the University of Illinois in computer science, and I've been working in different areas of computer architecture, microprocessors, networking, systems, and whatnot. But space has been my childhood passion. So yeah, definitely love to talk to you, and thanks for this opportunity to have this informal discussion with you.
And so you said it's a childhood passion of yours. How come you didn't pursue something in space?
That's a very good question. I mean, I'm originally from India, and again, there are limited opportunities. At the same time, you always want to go to an area which is much more, I would say, financially more lucrative, if you know what you mean. What I mean. So that took me to this path. But there's always this nagging thing in me that maybe I should have pursued that. But I'd love to talk to you. So maybe I can sort of vicariously live through you by talking to you.
And then, I mean, life is long. Yeah, you always transition over, and computer science is needed in the space industry as well. So,
but sure, I'd like to go up though, not work on that.
You want to do on-site work?
Yeah, preferably from space.
From space,
as opposed to doing the terrestrial work.
No, that makes sense. Well, talking about going to space, did you know that NASA's planning an astronaut back to the moon?
Yeah, definitely. In my opinion, I think it's better late than never. I was hoping by now there would have been an established station out there where rockets, and it could have been like a nice refueling center using the hydrogen and water available to process and use it for doing more interstellar space travel. But unfortunately, we are sort of revisiting what we did in the 60s and the early 70s, and sort of we are back to square one, I would say. But it's good. I mean, hopefully I'll see in my lifetime such a thing happening where moon can actually be an established base for doing interstellar travel.
Yeah, it's funny, since the last time we went to the moon, we discovered there's water on the moon.
Right.
We have these permanently shadowed areas and craters on the poles that have apparently tons and tons of water ice.
Right.
And I was just reading about these Chinese scientists discovered that, impacts have caused like crystallization of this silicon, storing like water inside of these little bitty, micron-sized beads that you could like melt down and get the water out.
Right.
Really
So hopefully it'll be a good. It'll be a nice opportunity to use that for powering any rockets which needs to be refueled there, and hopefully it'll end up allowing some of the humans to establish a colony there. Maybe in the next 20-30 years. I'm not sure. But it's been 50 years since we landed in space, and nothing has happened. I would say, maybe something has happened, but not to the extent I was hoping for. So maybe in the next 50 years, hopefully things will be different, and we'll have much more established colony in the.
Now, whenever you think about the future, say 200 years out, do you see humanity branching out beyond the Earth to multiple planets, or do you think we're still just only on the Earth making these little short trips, these small bases?
Honestly, I don't know. Since we didn't make too much progress in the last 50 years, I'm not sure whether the next 200 years where we would go. Right now, of course, space travel is becoming very commercially viable and cheap and economical, but at the same time there are still challenges in terms of interstellar travel, especially in terms of different technologies for building the rocket. We're still in the good old days of using hydrogen and oxygen and type of propulsion. We have not reached to a point where we are doing photonic rockets or using maybe even possibly nuclear based rockets for doing this interstellar travel. And even the Voyager it's taking ages to reach the periphery of the solar system. But I think human beings cannot possibly survive that type of ordeal. So it all depends on the technology and where we are going to invest right now. And if again everything is based on revenue and commercial viability, and if it's going to be just for pure science, I guess it's going to be a tough call. I mean, governments have to invest in it, and possibly NASA and other organizations have to take a lead role in it, as opposed to private enterprises like SpaceX, which probably wouldn't see much return on investment in terms of going far out there. Because
Yeah, and I know, but I guess it's all about generating public interest and support. We find ways to pay for things we want to.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I guess there's still a lot of problems in on Earth. Yeah. There's so many problems that you see on a day-to-day basis in terms of jobs, inflation, and whatnot. That I guess it's a tough call to sort of look beyond and see out there and overcome some of the day-to-day issues that we are facing. But hopefully it'll happen, and yeah, we need somebody like JFK to provide the inspiration and a challenge which the Cold War allowed us to provide the challenge for us to set a goal. And if we could do it in the span of 10 years, I'm assuming we possibly could do much more with the advanced technologies available today, which was not available in the 60s. So,
That's true. All the computer modeling and computer-aided manufacturing, design, and stuff.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they were able to do with straight edge and roller and
correct.
drafting boards and
Yeah, I mean,
stuff.
the power of the computing available in the 60s is nothing. It's possibly something which I think even your watch can overwhelm the amount of computing that was available to the folks there those days. So I think they have all the tools available. I think it's just the interest and the investment and the incentives for people to pursue this. So that's still lacking, I would say.
Maybe the state of the art helped them because they had to look only at the essential requirements, whereas now you have like requirement bloat, and it can do so much more, so we make it do so much more, so we need it to do so much more. That type of thing.
Right. Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I think you already answered this, but if you could, would you take a trip to space?
Oh, definitely, but I don't know whether I'll be eligible because you can see. I guess I could.
Well, I'd seen the way you dance. You're very healthy.
Yeah, John Glenn.
Exactly,
Yeah, but he was a veteran, so yeah, I'd love to. I mean, who would not want to go into space and have a look at where we came from? Definitely.
And how far would you go?
I mean, as far as I can. I mean, at some point, I don't even mind being a guinea pig and doing a one-way trip, if that's what.
Like going to Mars?
Yeah, if that's what it takes to help humanity, and so long as I've figured out everything on Earth and settled everything, and if I need to be there, so be it. Yeah. Mars is still too close in my view. I'm looking at beyond Mars, right?
The moons of Jupiter, moons of Saturn.
I mean, now again, it depends on, how much we progress in terms of covering the distance, right? I mean, how much time it's going to take for us to cover, say, go to the outer solar system.
Sure.
It still takes like several years, right, or decades to reach that. So depending on that, I guess we'll have to do some advancement in that. I mean, Mars is definitely habitable, I suppose. I mean, definitely an option. The short answer is yes, definitely I'd love to go.
That's awesome. Well, Kishen, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.